You're lying face down in the dirt. Your cheek is pressed against the ground so long it's gone numb. Something is crawling across your eyebrow. Maybe an ant. Maybe something worse. You want to move. You want to blink. You want to scratch. But you don't. Because if you do, even slightly, someone out there could see you. And if they see you, it's over. Now here's the part most people get wrong. You haven't even fired a shot yet. And you might not. That's the reality of a sniper. If that already sounds insane to you, wait until you hear what the next 72 hours actually look like. And before we go deeper, I want you to tell me something in the comments. Do you think you could stay completely still for even 1 hour without moving? Be honest, because what you're about to hear pushes human limits way past that. You've probably seen the movies. A sniper on a rooftop, wind blowing dramatically, one clean shot, and they walk away like it's nothing. But real life doesn't work like that. Not even close. In reality, when you think of a sniper, you should think of patience first. Not precision, not weapons. Patience. Most sniper teams aren't even there to shoot. Their main job is watching, observing, reporting. You're not just a trigger. You're a set of eyes for an entire military operation. And here's where it gets interesting. You're almost never alone. A sniper team is usually 2 people. One shooter, one spotter. Sometimes even a third member for security or communication. That means everything you do, every breath you take, someone else depends on it. Think about that for a second. You're not just responsible for yourself. You're responsible for your partner staying alive too. So before you even get into position, there's preparation. And it starts with something that looks almost ridiculous until you understand it. The ghillie suit. This isn't something you just pick off a shelf and wear. Most snipers build their own, by hand. It can take weeks. They start with a basic uniform and then attach netting. Into that netting, they tie strips of burlap, jute, and synthetic fibers. Not randomly, but carefully arranged to break up the human shape. Because the human outline is what gives you away the fastest. And here's something most people don't realize. The front of the suit is usually reinforced and almost bare. That's because you're crawling. Constantly. Your chest and stomach are dragging across dirt, rocks, sometimes glass or debris. Now imagine wearing that suit in the heat. Inside, temperatures can easily go above 120 degrees Fahrenheit. You're sweating non-stop. The suit traps heat, traps moisture, and gets heavier the longer you wear it. And then you add vegetation on top of it. Real plants, leaves, grass, whatever matches the environment. But here's the problem. Those plants die, fast. So every few hours, you have to slowly, carefully replace them. Without being seen, without making noise. If you're still watching right now, drop a comment and tell me what you think would be harder, the heat or the stillness. Because most people pick wrong. Once you reach your hide position, things get even more intense. A hide is basically your temporary home. It could be a shallow hole, a ditch, behind a log, or something you dig yourself. And once you're in, you don't move. You set up everything in advance. Who watches, who rests, when you eat, how you communicate. Even how you go to the bathroom is planned before you settle in. Yes, really. Because once you're in position, moving is not an option. You rotate duties. One of you is always watching through optics. The other rests, but not fully. You never truly relax. You're always half alert, listening for footsteps, voices, anything out of place. Sleep comes in short bursts, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30 if you're lucky. And here's something that should make you uncomfortable. You're sleeping on the ground, in the same suit, covered in sweat, dirt sticking to your face, bugs crawling across your skin. But you don't move, because movement is what gets you caught. There's a story that gets told in training circles. A sniper team once got too comfortable. Both of them fell asleep at the same time. Just for a moment, an officer walked right up to their position, undetected. Their careers ended immediately. So when you hear "stay alert," this is what it means. There is no off switch. Now let's talk about food. You're carrying MREs, standard military rations, but you can't heat them. The heaters produce a smell, and in a quiet environment, smell can give you away just as fast as sound. So you eat everything cold. Some snipers don't even bother with full meals. They go for energy gels, protein bars, dry foods, anything that's quiet to open and easy to eat without movement. And you don't sit up and eat. You eat while staying flat, carefully, slowly. Now think about doing that while you're already dehydrated and exhausted. Before we go further, I want you to tell me something. Would you rather deal with the hunger or the lack of sleep? Because in this situation, you're getting both. And then there's the part nobody likes to talk about, the bathroom. You can't leave your position. You can't just stand up and walk away. So everything is handled right there. For urination, many snipers use wide-mouth bottles. It allows minimal movement. For anything else, they use bags, often the same packaging from their food. And here's the critical part. Nothing gets left behind. Everything is packed out. Not for cleanliness, for survival. Because human scent can be detected by tracking dogs, and that can lead enemy forces straight to you. Some teams even adjust their diet before the mission, eating less, choosing foods that slow digestion, anything to reduce the need altogether. That's how far this goes. And if you think this is extreme, wait until you hear about one of the most famous sniper missions ever. Carlos Hathcock was a Marine sniper during the Vietnam War, and his story is something that almost doesn't sound real. He was assigned a mission to eliminate a high-ranking enemy officer. To do that, he had to crawl over 1,500 yards of open ground. Not run, not walk. Crawl. It took him 4 days and 3 nights. Think about that. 4 days, moving inches at a time. He didn't crawl forward like you normally would. He moved on his side to reduce the trail he left behind. Every movement was slow, controlled, deliberate. Enemy patrols passed close enough to touch him. At one point, a snake moved across his body. He didn't react. He couldn't, because even the smallest movement could have exposed him. Eventually, he reached his position. He took a single shot. The target went down. And then he did something even harder. He crawled all the way back. Another 3 days. The enemy was actively searching for him the entire time. They never found him. Now I want you to pause for a second and think about that level of control. Not just physically, but mentally. Because that's the real battle. The hardest part of being a sniper isn't the shot. It's everything before it. It's the waiting. It's the silence. It's ignoring your body when it's screaming at you to move. Imagine a mosquito biting your eyelid, and you can't blink it away. Imagine sweat running into your eyes, burning, and you can't wipe it. Imagine your leg going numb, completely numb, and you still can't adjust. That's the reality. Training reflects that. In sniper school, candidates go through stalking exercises where they move incredibly slowly toward instructors observing them through high-powered optics. Sometimes they advance only a few feet per hour. One wrong move, one reflection of light off their scope, and they fail. In some classes, the majority of candidates don't make it through, because it's not about strength. It's not even about shooting skill. It's about discipline. It's about control. If you've made it this far, tell me in the comments what part of this surprises you the most. The mental side, the physical side, or the lifestyle itself. I'm curious what stands out to you. Let's go deeper into what those 72 hours actually feel like. Time changes when you're in a hide. Minutes feel longer, hours feel endless. You start counting small things, breaths, sounds, movements in the distance. Your world shrinks down to what's in front of your scope. Every sound matters. A bird suddenly flying away, a branch snapping, distant voices. You learn to read the environment like a language. And then there's the pressure. Because while you're lying there, you're not just waiting. You're responsible for information. You're reporting movements, patterns, positions. That information could decide whether a larger operation succeeds or fails. So even if you never take a shot, your mission still matters. And sometimes, that's the hardest part to accept. Because after all that effort, all that discomfort, you might leave without ever pulling the trigger. But that's success, because being unseen is the goal. Let's talk about communication. You can't just speak freely. Voices carry. So sniper teams use whispers, hand signals, or minimal radio communication when absolutely necessary. Every word is controlled. Every movement is calculated. Even adjusting your rifle has to be done slowly to avoid catching light or making noise. Now imagine doing all of this while your body is shutting down. Dehydration sets in, muscles cramp, your back aches from staying in one position, and yet you stay. Because leaving early could compromise the mission, and staying too long could be just as dangerous. Timing is everything. Before we move on, I want you to think about something. Do you believe this kind of mental endurance can be trained, or do you think it's something you're born with? Drop your opinion below, because there's a lot of debate around that. As the hours turn into days, small mistakes become bigger risks. A slight shift in position, a careless movement, a moment of inattention. That's all it takes. Because the enemy is also watching, and they're trained too. This isn't a one-sided game, so every decision you make matters. And here's something most people overlook. You're not just hiding from people, you're hiding from nature too. Wind can move your camouflage, rain can change the terrain, sunlight can reflect off surfaces you didn't think about. Everything becomes a factor. And yet, through all of it, you remain still. That's the job. That's the reality behind the image. Not the dramatic shot, not the instant action, just patience, discomfort, silence, and the kind of focus most people never experience in their entire lives. As we start to wrap this up, think back to the beginning, lying face down, not moving, waiting. Now you understand what that actually means. It's not just physical endurance, it's mental control at the highest level. It's trusting your training, your partner, and yourself. And it's accepting that sometimes the most important thing you do is nothing at all. If this changed how you see snipers even a little, make sure you stick around. Because there's a lot more behind the scenes of military life that most people never hear about. And before you go, I want to ask you one last thing. After hearing all of this, do you think you could handle even a single day in that position? Be honest. Because understanding is one thing, living it is something else entirely. There's another story waiting for you right now, and it might change the way you see modern warfare even more.